Welcome back to Kleppers Corner. Today in the news, where history doesn't repeat itself, it just remixes into a dumber, louder track. Today's headlines have it all. Trump playing global peacemaker while also playing arms salesman. NVIDIA figuring out how to sell computers to China without technically selling computers to China. Redistricting wars turning Congress into a map coloring contest. Science maybe curing cancer, and Sharon Stone politely telling Hollywood to shove it. Oh, and in case you're wondering, yes, the world's still on fire. Literally. Segment 1, the Washington summit. Trump hosts Zelensky, promises arms, redefines peace. The White House summit, billed as a breakthrough to end the Ukraine war, ended up being more like a bad group project. Everybody smiling, saying they made progress, but half the team knows they're still failing. Zelensky showed up in a black blazer instead of his trademark fatigues. That's diplomacy for, fine, I'll dress like you want, but I'm still asking for the good wine list. Trump loved it. Trump said, finally, a man dressed appropriately, which, coming from a guy who sells red trucker hats at funerals, is ironic. The big breakthrough? Trump announced he's arranging a Putin-Zelensky face-to-face. Europeans said within 2 weeks. The Kremlin said we only said maybe. And Macron said Putin is about as trustworthy as a Tinder profile that says 6'2" but owns no mirrors. And then came the kicker. Trump ruled out NATO membership for Ukraine, but pitched a $90 billion arms deal. Europe pays, America supplies. It's not peace through strength, it's peace through invoice. It's a ceasefire brought to you by Lockheed Martin. Honestly, Trump may have just invented the world's first MLM peace plan. Buy a fighter jet, recruit 3 friends to buy tanks, and congratulations, you're a regional distributor of democracy. Meanwhile, while leaders talked peace, Russia launched 270 drones and 10 missiles at Ukraine overnight. Nothing says good faith negotiations like bombing 16 cities mid-summit. It's like telling your spouse, honey, we need to talk about communication while throwing plates at the wall. Segment 2, the chip war, NVIDIA's tightrope in China. Over in Techland, NVIDIA has decided the best way to handle U.S.-China tensions is to design computer chips that are just under the legal limit. Think speed limit 65. So they're driving 64.9 while the cop is watching. They've rolled out the B30A. A high-performance AI chip for China that's more powerful than the old H2O. Then, the RTX 6000D, a chip designed to sit exactly below U.S. export restrictions. It's like cheating on a test while handing the teacher a copy of your answer key. And Washington's new policy? No more outright bans. Now it's pay for play. NVIDIA and AMD get to sell to China, but they have to hand over 15% of their revenue to the U.S. government. Folks, that's not export control, that's the mafia. Nice AI chip you got there. Shame if something happened to your export license. China's response? Suspicion. State media warned the chips could have back doors, which, to be fair, is hilarious. China spying on us? Normal. Us spying on China? Outrageous. Basically, both sides are accusing each other of hiding spyware in the chips, while everyone just really wants to play with ChatGPT that can also run Call of Duty in 16K. Segment 3, American political fault lines, gerrymandering gone wild. Meanwhile, in domestic politics, Texas Republicans and California Democrats are competing in the world's saddest coloring contest. Who can redraw the maps to steal the most seats? Texas wants to add 5 GOP seats. Democrats fled the state to stop the vote, only to be dragged back with cops and ankle monitors. That's not politics, that's a hostage situation. California retaliated by, wait for it, abandoning their independent redistricting commission and redrawing their maps for 5 extra Dem seats. You know, the same commission Democrats once called sacred. Turns out sacred means sacred until it's inconvenient. At this point, both parties are treating maps the way toddlers treat finger paint, messy, biased, and inevitably ending up smeared on the walls. And the prize? A House majority that will immediately descend into more gridlock. It's like fighting over who gets the steering wheel of a car already on fire. Segment 4, DOJ Drama, Jay Clayton confirmed. Trump just secured Jay Clayton, former SEC chairman, Wall Street insider, zero prosecutorial experience as U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. That's the office famous for prosecuting mobsters, terrorists, and corrupt billionaires. Now it's being run by a guy best known for deregulating hedge funds. This is like putting Gordon Ramsay in charge of Weight Watchers. Sure, he knows food, but his job is yelling at scallops, not calorie math. Already, prosecutors are quitting. Cases against NYC's mayor are being dropped, and high-profile trials are in chaos. Independence at the DOJ? Out the window. Now it's executive branch, but make it personal injury lawyer. Segment 5. Global markets and tech bets globally. Malaysia shocked economists with a 6.8% export surge. Mostly electronics, mostly going to Singapore and Taiwan. So while everyone panics about supply chains, Malaysia just said, hold my ringgit. Meanwhile, SoftBank invested $2 billion in Intel. The same Intel the U.S. government might buy a 10% stake in. That's right, America is considering nationalizing part of a chip company. Welcome to 2025. Capitalism, but with government coupon codes. Markets are cautiously optimistic. Stocks up, oil down, but all eyes are on Jerome Powell's upcoming Jackson Hole speech. Because nothing excites investors like the annual summer tradition of central bankers getting together in Wyoming to ruin your mortgage. Segment 6, Science and Health. mRNA cancer vaccine, quantum leap, bad gummies. Science gave us a big maybe today. Researchers at the University of Florida say they've created a universal mRNA cancer vaccine that wiped out tumors in mice, which is amazing, but remember, mice also like eating glue. Human trials are next, and until then, the only universal cure is still tequila. In tech, we got Keto, a new quantum computing platform for chemistry research. Great news for drug discovery, energy, and material science. Bad news for grad students who now have to explain to their grandparents why their computer costs $50 million and still can't run solitaire. And in the UK, a supplement called Nutrition Ignition Kids Magnesium Glycinate Gummies was recalled because it secretly contained a prescription-only drug. Imagine giving your kid a vitamin gummy and finding out it doubles as a controlled substance. The brand promised ignition. Turns out they meant ignition of a DEA investigation. Segment 7, Global Briefs, Gaza, fires, quakes, politics, and pop culture. In Gaza, Cyprus shipped 1,200 tons of aid desperately needed after 2 years of war. Meanwhile, protests in Israel brought 2.5 million people to the streets demanding a hostage deal. That's more than Taylor Swift gets for a stadium tour. Europe's on fire again. Literally. Spain and Portugal battling massive wildfires. In India, a flash flood killed at least 65. And in Indonesia, a quake struck Sulawesi. Folks, it's starting to feel like Earth itself needs FEMA. In politics, Bolivia heading to a runoff, Sudan shuffling generals mid-civil war while battling cholera outbreaks. Because when it rains, it pours. Or in Sudan's case, it rains cholera. And in pop culture, Sharon Stone roasted Hollywood's plan for a Basic Instinct reboot, saying, "Good luck," which is actress code for "this will flop harder than my ex-husband." And Angelina Jolie says she's leaving the U.S. once her kids are grown. If Brad Pitt's listening, congrats. You just got custody of the entire country. In conclusion. So there you have it. August 19th, Trump selling peace like it's a used car. NVIDIA designing chips by playing limbo with regulators. States turning redistricting into the world's worst art project. Scientists may be curing cancer while gummies secretly drug kids. And Sharon Stone reminding us Hollywood has no new ideas. The news today proves one thing. We are living in a global group project where no one's reading the syllabus, the deadline was yesterday, and somehow the grade still counts. And that's today in the news.